I know it's evolving, I know it's highly uncertain, but what baseline do you have at this point for what Omicron could do, particularly to the cyclical end of the commodities markets, from oil to copper?
Sure. For oil, I would say it's probably more of a worry perhaps than copper. I think when we think about the kind of product demand slate for oil, jet fuel demand is obviously one that is still, requiring some catch up to kind of 2019 levels. If we look at air traffic, that's still about 20% down from 2019 levels, and jet fuel demand is still some kind of 27% down. And it's that recovery into 2022 that probably a lot of the market has been looking for to make up that kind of 3.4 million barrels a day of demand growth in 2022. And if these travel restrictions do indeed last a bit longer than had been thought, that probably take away some of that 3.4 million barrels a day of oil demand growth that had been expected and add to the surpluses that we're expecting to eventualize in the oil market by the end of Q4.
Mike, we got your colleagues and friends at JPM calling $125 a barrel oil for 2022, $150 on the horizon for 2023. When you look at the current state of underlying fundamentals in the oil market and the balances, what are they telling you? What sort of price is that really consistent with for next year, and where are you putting the forecasts?
Sure. So we're currently forecasting Brent at 64 at the end of next year. And we see Q1 as a quarter when the oil market starts to turn from deficits, which we had all of this year, courtesy of OPEC supply discipline. And we see those deficits turning to surpluses in Q1 of next year, and then growing surpluses over the course of the year. Now, certainly it depends quite a lot on whether OPEC stops their supply increases on a monthly basis. We think that they will in Q1, but that's certainly a risk factor. We've also recently had Iran talks were starting in Vienna. But overall, our base case is that we start to look at surpluses in Q1 and then perhaps bigger surpluses over the course of the year if OPEC does resume those supply increases. And so kind of total OPEC and non-OPEC supply growth exceeding demand growth over the course of 2022.